Everybody, and welcome to this week's live onboarding. I'm Tim from Ledger, and today I'm going to be setting up a Ledger Nano S Plus device from start to finish and show you that process. If you did come here to get some questions answered, you can go ahead and drop your comments in the chat. We got a couple mods here that will be answering your questions. So for this part, I'm just going to get started on the live onboarding. All right. So full disclosure, this is a device that we have set up in the past. If you've watched any of my other onboardings, you'll probably start to sound pretty familiar. But yeah, for the sake of not opening up a new device every single week and creating all that extra, accessories and stuff that comes with it in the office, we just like to reuse them. Which is perfectly safe to do if you have your own device at home that you would like to set up with a new recovery phrase. You can go through and you can do that safely without having to worry about any previous recovery phrases being tied to it in any way. So I will go ahead and just unbox this real quick. So I'm going to pull off the outer sleeve. If you are opening up yours for the first time, you'll have the plastic cover on it. Obviously, that's not going to be on this one. So then you open up the box. Actually, let me switch the views real quick. All right, we'll put it down right here. All right, took off the outer cover. Go ahead and pull off this. Go ahead and pull this card out. Okay, so you have, for the Nano S Plus, you have your secret recovery sheets that comes in this orange envelope right here. And then you have your Nano S Plus device. And then if you pull this off right here, this little mold that it comes in, you have this pink envelope, which has some other stuff. It'll tell you what do's and don'ts for your ledger, how to care for, how to take care of it. It'll also give you, it'll show you how to get started with your ledger, where to go, the website to download Ledger Live, some stickers. And then underneath that, inside this last little box right here, you have your power cable. So we're going to leave that power cable in there. We don't need it for today's demonstration. We have another cable we'll be using. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead, put all this other stuff off to the side because we no longer need it. And so now all we have is the Ledger Nano S Plus device and the secret recovery sheets. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this. This one normally comes with 3 recovery sheets. If you are opening your Nano S Plus at home, you'll have 3 of them. But we've already used 2 of them for other demonstrations. So we are actually down to our last recovery sheet for this box right here. So I'm going to go ahead and place that down right there. Put this to the side. And then I am going to switch back over. Actually, we're already on the right screen. So you see we have Ledger Live right here. So this is kind of the process that basically most people would be at. They would want to go to ledger.com/start, which is right here. And if you go to ledger.com/start, I can pull up Chrome right here and show you. Exit the tabs right here. .com/start. It'll basically have you download and install Ledger Live, which is available for Mac OS, Windows, and Linux Ubuntu. And then after you download and install Ledger Live, this is what the application will look like when you open it up. So you can go to Get Started. It'll ask you which device you purchased or which device you're trying to set up. In our case, S Plus. Then you have a couple options here. You've got first time using your Nano S Plus or already have a recovery phrase. If you're going through it yourself, you might want to select this first option right here to set it up, and this will take you through all the steps that you'll need to go through in order to set up your device. However, we're gonna skip this, and I'm going to just show you all these steps myself, and then we are going to select this other option because we're about to generate our recovery phrase without Ledger Live's help. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put a pin in that, and then we're going to go back here. Okay, so first power on your device. It'll open up to welcome to Nano S Plus. Press the right button. That's going to be the scroll to the right. So if you have a Nano X, it'll say welcome to Nano X, or if you have a Nano S, welcome to Nano S. Honestly, the setup process is pretty much the same for all the devices. So if you do have a different device that you're trying to set up and you're following along with this, then then just know that you can basically do the same things that I'm doing. It just may look a little bit different, but it'll be about the same. It should be pretty easy to follow along. So right here on the Nano S Plus, you have 2 buttons. You've got they all have 2 buttons, but on this model, they are on the top rail of the device right here. So you have your right button, which will scroll to the right. You have your left button, which will scroll to the left. And then if you press both buttons at the same time, it'll make a selection. So we're going to go here, and then this is just letting you know that right here. Use left and right buttons to navigate. Press both buttons to continue. I'm going to tap both buttons pretty quick. Pressing both buttons allows you to confirm. So now it's reiterating download Ledger Live at ledger.com/start, which we've already done. So we can skip past that. And then from here, basically, Ledger Live will take over for the new onboarding for a person who's just coming into this and wants to know how to go through this. If you don't have access to YouTube or if you're just trying to do it on your own, the application makes it pretty easy. So you can do that. So now you have 2 options. You have set up as a new device, and you have restore from recovery phrase. So basically, we're going to be choosing the option to set up as new device. Actually, I don't think you can. It's a little far away. So it says set up as new device. We're going to be choosing that option, which is going to allow us to generate a brand new, unique 24-word recovery phrase for the device, from the device that we can use to back up our accounts. And then if you scroll once more to the right, you'll see it says restore from recovery phrase. If you already have a recovery phrase, if you have another Nano and you're just trying to create a backup of your other Nano, or if you're trying to restore access to your account, if you lost your other Nano, then you would choose this option. It would let you input your recovery phrase. So we're going to go ahead and select this option by pressing both buttons. Okay. First thing is to choose a PIN between 4 and 8 digits in length. Obviously, the longer your PIN that you choose, the more secure it's going to be. One thing to keep in mind about the PIN for your device is your PIN is not actually tied to your accounts. So your PIN is only used to lock and keep this device itself locked. If you were to forget your PIN, then you'd be able to reset your device and come up with a new PIN and re-enter your 24-word recovery phrase into it, and then you would be able to reset your PIN in that way. So definitely choose a nice strong PIN, but rest easy knowing that if you do forget it or lose your PIN, as long as you have your 24 words that we're about to write down, you have nothing to worry about. So we're going to go ahead and select that. And I'm going to go against my own advice that I just gave you and make it nice and easy. I'm going to go 1, 1, 1, 1. And then also, so I'm just doing that for ease. That way, in case the device locks during this demonstration, I don't have to put in a big, long, complex PIN to unlock it, because I will be resetting this device again as soon as we're done with this demonstration. So for your own PIN, I definitely do recommend setting a nice, strong PIN that would be hard to guess. But I want to show you one cool feature right here. So we're going to hit the little check mark to continue. So now, if you can see it, I'm not sure if you can. It's a little blurry. I can pull it up a little. There's a little line that's underneath the 7 right now. So I'm going to scroll and I'm going to hit 1. So after I hit the 1, you'll see that line randomly jumps to another number. I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit 1 again, and it randomly jumps to a different number. Hit 1 again, and it randomly jumps to a different number. So this is actually a security feature of the Nano. It's a little weird. We've actually had people write into us and be like, "Hey, yeah, it jumps around all randomly. Is my device malfunctioning?" And the answer is no. Your device is doing exactly what it should be doing, and that's that if somebody is sitting across from you, in the same room as you, or across like looking at you through the window or whatever, they can't observe and count the number of button clicks at your. Because if it always started at 0, then someone would be able to theoretically count your clicks and determine what your PIN is. So that prevents that from happening. Okay, so next step is going to be to write down your recovery phrase. So we're going to go ahead and set this down for a minute, and I'm going to switch here. And I want to address real quick, I do this every single time. If you watch any of my other onboardings, you probably know that I'm about to go on a long spiel about how important the recovery phrase is. But when it comes to your recovery phrase, this is the most important part of your entire journey into self custody, into crypto itself. Even if you use any custodial wallet, self custody wallet, including a hot wallet, any kind of wallet, where you have to derive your seed phrase, you're most likely familiar with the concept that your seed phrase is your ultimate backup to your crypto. It is your master key to your crypto. And so if your recovery phrase were to get leaked online, or if someone were to get their hands on your recovery phrase, then they would be able to access your crypto just as easily as you could access it. Your nano device is only there to cryptographically sign transactions for you and let you do that safely from an air gap device, while you're and it keeps your recovery phrase offline. That's basically how the nano device keeps you safe. So if you were to give up your recovery phrase in any way, if you were to take a picture of it, say on your phone, and save it in your gallery, and then your or your iCloud, and then your phone gets hacked or whatever, then you would potentially lose all your assets. And we've actually seen that happen before. If you were to save it in, like, even in a secure application, like a password manager that you use, if you were to save your recovery phrase in there, those things can technically get hacked. So the best thing to do is to keep your recovery phrase completely offline, written down on a piece of paper or etched in steel or whatever, until a better solution presents itself. But for now, this is currently the best way that you have to protect your assets. So I'm done with my spiel. We're going to go ahead and we're going to move forward with setting up the device. Let me switch back to the shot here. Okay, so your device will generate 24 words. They are your recovery phrase. It's your only backup to restore your accounts if needed. Write it down in the correct order. That's very important. And then press both buttons to continue. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, and immediately we get our first word. So I'm going to go ahead and come down here, open this up. I'm going to write down these words. Make sure when you're writing down your words that you write nice and as neat and legibly as you possibly can. Because if you do write, have messy writing, and and it's really hard to read what word that you wrote down, you can definitely find yourself in a precarious situation in the future. If you're trying to restore access to your accounts and you keep words that are written down. And then to reiterate, also make sure that you write them down in the correct order. Pay very special attention to your recovery sheet and the order that the numbers are going in right here. Because if you were to go write it down in the correct order, say from top to bottom, 1, 2, 3, when it should be 1, 2, 4, then you may forget that you did that, and then in the future try to restore access to your accounts, and it just doesn't work. Okay, almost done. Now that we have them all written down, you can go back if you want. You can verify all your words. You can go all the way back to the beginning, make sure you have them written down correctly. But even if you do that, after you press continue, it's still going to make you confirm your recovery phrase, just to make sure that it's written down correctly. So on the confirm part, it'll give you a few words, and you basically just scroll through until you find the right word. It's just verifying that you have them written down and then the correct word. Okay, go. All right. So if you get this screen, your recovery phrase is set. Keep it in a secure place. That means you did it correctly. You verified the correct phrase. You pretty much rest easy from here, knowing that you have it written down correctly because it has been verified. So at this point, you would want to take your recovery sheet and you want to put it in somewhere that's really safe, like for instance in a safe or a lockbox or perhaps a safety deposit box at a bank that you trust if you have a bank that you trust. Just anywhere where you're relatively certain that it's going to remain safe. And this may look a little bit different for everyone based on your particular situation. But use your best judgment and do your best to keep this recovery phrase nice and safe. Okay. If it's lost, stolen, or forgotten, your assets will be lost. Never share it with anyone, and Ledger will never ask you for it. All right, let's go ahead and press both buttons to continue. All right, your device is ready. Scroll to the right, and then you see it says go to dashboard. Go to the dashboard. Okay, so now we have two options here. There are two little widgets, one that says install apps and another one that says control center. So these are just here to tell you what to do. They don't actually access these functions. So if you go here to install app, it'll just say use Ledger Live to install apps. And then if you go here to control center, it'll just tell you hold both buttons at any time to access the control center. Which if you do hold both buttons, you'll see that it goes to the settings menu. And then from there, you can go into your settings and you can perform certain actions. You can change your PIN, you can reset your device, you can change the brightness of the screen, you can change your language, you can do all sorts of cool stuff. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and set it down for now. And then we are going to come back to Ledger Live now. And you'll see that we where we left off here, we had the two options. So if you were to select if I were to select right now, first time using your S Plus and set up as a new device right here, then it would take us through everything we just went through during that setup. So we obviously don't want to do that. So we've already done that. So we are going to go through already have a recovery phrase, and then we're going to connect our Nano S Plus directly to our Ledger Live right now. Okay. So this is going to be the genuine check. This is going to make sure that the firmware that's installed in your device is genuine. And then we're going to go ahead and check my Nano. Okay. We have to allow a secure connection with Ledger because remember, no application, not even Ledger Live, can ever make changes or access your device without your permission. So this is going to require your permission to do this. We're going to allow it. And we're all good. Your Ledger Nano S Plus is genuine and ready to use with Ledger Live. So we're going to go ahead and hit continue. And then it takes us right here to the portfolio tab. So basically the first thing you want to do, you can get started right from here. You can click on add account and then choose whatever kind of crypto asset, crypto account you want to install. For instance, if we want to make an Ethereum account, we can go continue and it's going to automatically install the Ethereum application on the device. It's going to look for, so yeah, so you see it's automatically, you see the loading bar on the screen of the Nano and on the screen of Ledger Live. So it's installing the ETH app for us, and then it wants us to open the ETH app to add our account. So right now it's synchronizing. And we got our ETH account. So we can add that in. So now we have an account right here, an empty Ethereum account. But I want to show you, I'm going to go back to the My Ledger tab and show you more and talk a little bit more about these Nano apps and what they are. All right, cool. So you see, if you go to the My Ledger tab, you'll be able to see the entire app catalog of all the apps that we offer. You can see like a lot of the popular ones right here at the top. But if you keep scrolling down, there's a lot of Nano apps. A lot of different cryptos that are either supported directly in Ledger Live or via third-party wallets. So the Nano apps are they're necessary for your device to be able to communicate and sign transactions on the various blockchains. Each blockchain has different rules that governs that blockchain, and in some cases, different code that makes that blockchain function. And so your device, it can store your recovery phrase and cryptographically sign transactions, but it can only sign transactions if it has the tools it needs to sign those transactions for that specific blockchain. And so that's where the Nano apps come in. So the Nano apps are not real, they don't have anything really to do with your actual crypto in your accounts. They just allow you to access the crypto in your accounts. So that's why it's perfectly safe to uninstall the Nano apps and reinstall them if you need to. If you ever run out of space on your Nano and you want to install another Nano app, but like to get more crypto into your Ledger Live account, but you don't have enough space, you can just uninstall one of the apps you don't use often. And then if you ever wanted to access that account again, you could just go in and reinstall that app and uninstall another app and just kind of bounce around that way. The Nano S Plus and the Nano X, they can hold quite a few apps on them. It's not often that people run out of space on them. I run out of space on my work Nano S Plus because I have to help so many people, and so I'm constantly installing apps to like test things out and seeing what works and what's failing. But for the average user, like unless you have like 30 to 50 different types of cryptocurrencies that you hold all on different blockchains, you're probably not going to run out of space on your Nano. But yeah, let me show you a little bit more in Ledger Live. Let me switch back to this main shot right here. So cool. So we have this Nano connected, and we added this Ethereum account right here. Cool. So we have the account that's been added, and we have the Ethereum app installed. So now we can do things. We don't have any ETH in this account, obviously, because we just set up this Nano and we just created the account. So there's no actual Ethereum in this account. But if we wanted to receive Ethereum in this account, we can go here and click on it and click on this receive button right here. And we can hit continue. We can open the Ethereum app. And we can derive our public wallet address. So I'm going to go through that again to show you something else. But if you look here on the screen of your Nano, it'll say verify address. And it'll give you the ETH address right here that is being derived. And you'll also see that it's also here on your desktop for you to be able to copy. So keep in mind that the screen of your Nano is the ultimate source of truth. So this information can never be tampered with. It's not likely that the information on your computer will be tampered with. That's an extremely, extremely rare occurrence. But since it is possible, it's always good to verify the address on the screen of your Nano to make sure that it matches up. And one cool thing that I like to do if I'm going to be receiving crypto into an account in Ledger Live is I like to generate the receive address here, and then I'll copy it, but then I'll leave the receive address pulled up on the screen of my Nano, and then I'll go to the exchange or wherever I'm sending the crypto from, and I'll paste the receive address in there. And after I paste the receive address in there, then I'll come back to my Nano and I'll verify that what I just pasted into that field is still an exact match. And now I'm not like ultra paranoid. I won't do this every single time for like tiny transfers, but if I'm transferring a large amount of crypto, like I'm definitely going to verify, because not only out of paranoia that there's like maybe some malware on my computer that might like mess with my clipboard or something and change the data, but more just because I'm human and I know that I make mistakes just like everybody else. And so I had a case one time where somebody scanned a QR code and it copied the data, and they accidentally hit the back arrow when after they pasted it in, and it was a 5 at the end, and they thought it was an S, and they pasted in, and they just manually typed, like, oh, manually typed in an S, that's an S, just like glance at the receive address, and then it turns out it was a 5. And so it sent that a large amount of funds to a completely different wallet address. And then the person was really confused, like how do I get this back? Well, you can't. It's a completely different wallet address. Only the owner of that wallet address would be able to send that back to you at that point. So make sure you take that very serious, and just double check. Just make sure that everything matches up. Yeah, and also it's not so much of an issue anymore, especially in Ledger Live, because we have contingencies in place. But try not to get into the habit of copying addresses from your transaction history, because honestly, these addresses sometimes look very similar to one another. Like a lot of people will get in the habit because of like the format that's used in crypto, like where like it'll show you like the first 4 or 5 characters, the last 4 or 5 characters, then some dots in the middle. And so people get in the habit of only verifying the beginning and the end. And it is possible for an ETH address to have the same beginning, the same end, but some different characters in the middle, and to accidentally copy the wrong address. And not just for ETH. I'm using ETH as an example, but this is for any blockchain, any wallet address on any blockchain. So definitely do your due diligence, and don't get lazy with this part of the step, because it could lead to a permanent loss of funds. All right, let's see. So I think that about wraps up our time for our live onboarding. I hope that I was able to help some of you guys. I've been monitoring the chat, and our moderators are all over it, answering you guys' questions. I hope that they were able to help. I hope that I was able to help. So I think we are going to go ahead and terminate this for the week. It's been a long week, and we are all eagerly awaiting the weekend. But we'll be back on Monday. Myself and possibly one other agent will be doing a just full live support Ask Me Anything series. That's going to be Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please come back if you have more questions and we didn't get a chance to answer them for you here. Please come back and ask your questions there, and we will provide as much information as we possibly can. But I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for stopping by.